Good morning. Sorry about the lack of Zoom, but hopefully this will kind of be a nice, easier Friday so that then we can have a good flex day on Monday, and then I'll see you in person, or not in person, via Zoom, on Tuesday for Checkpoint A, okay? So just a reminder of the schedule, but so that makes this video very important. It makes it a video you should not just skip over, because this is how you are learning this, okay? It's a flex day on Monday, so we're not going to come on Zoom on Monday and I'm going to reteach it to you. So do not skip over this video. If you have questions, email me, but you have the ability to pause this, stop it, rewind it, so don't just fly through it to get it done. Really focus on this video and make sure that you understand it. Good thing is, it's very similar to what we did yesterday. So it's just the word is different. Yesterday we did parallel. Parallel is this. Okay, today we're doing perpendicular, which is this. All right, but specifically perpendicular hits at a 90-degree angle. So that's going to be important for your next year in geometry. But we handled this yesterday. This would be the same slope. And then we're going to handle perpendicular today, which will talk about the slopes of this. Okay, so just jumping right into it. I already graphed this for you, so pause it and graph these lines. So now that you've done that, I already talked about that perpendicular lines cross at a 90-degree angle. You don't really need to write that, but it's just good to know that that's a perfect right angle. We're going to compare these, though. So we have two equations. We got this guy and this guy. We didn't really have to do anything to them, which is nice. These lines are perpendicular. What makes them perpendicular is their slope. Just like parallel slopes were the same, we're going to have a specific thing about perpendicular slopes that make them perpendicular. So it's just two different ones that you have to remember, parallel and perpendicular. So today, perpendicular, they are both opposite and reciprocal. Sorry. Okay? What reciprocal means is flip. So write that word, because some people just get confused with the word reciprocal. Okay, so what an example of opposites is if I had 2 and -2. So opposite means that one's going to be positive and one is going to be negative. An example of a reciprocal is if one was 2, technically this is over 1, then the reciprocal or the flip of it is 1 over 2. So you have to have both of those things, opposite signs and the flip. Okay, so look, an example of both is right here. 2/3 and -3/2. Okay, so an example of both, just write the example that we have right in front of us. See how one is positive, one is negative, and then one is 2 over 3, but then the other one is 3 over 2. So you change the sign and you flip it. Okay, so we're just going to practice this of opposite and reciprocal to determine if they are perpendicular. So coming to this one, we've done this a lot, so write these words again. We will have to convert to y equals mx plus b. We've done this so much in the past couple of days. So if you're still not good on it, make sure you pause and try it, or rewind and make sure you feel comfortable with it. So I'm going to subtract 4x, and then that's 2y equals -4x plus 8. Divide by 2 everywhere. So my new one is y equals -2x plus 4, okay? So these are the two that I'm comparing now, that one and this one. So are they perpendicular? Are they opposite and flips? Right here, we have a 2 and a -2. They are opposite. There's one positive and one is negative, but they are not reciprocal. So this is a no, not reciprocal. I just keep spelling that word wrong. Let's just erase that. Sorry. Reciprocal. Okay? They have to be both. Let's try another one. I want you to pause it and rearrange this equation, and then I'll put it up here in a second. Go ahead and do that. Okay. So there's the answer to the new written one that we had to rearrange or convert. So look at these two and look at their slopes. Are they opposite and reciprocal? Well, they are opposite. One's positive and one is negative. We have a 2 over 5 and a 5 over 2. So yes, they are opposite. And you'll see me just say recip, okay, or res. So they are both of those. So there's an example of perpendicular lines, okay? I want you to try the last one. Just try it one more time. So pause it, and then I'll put the answer up. Okay, so here's the answer for this one. I rearranged the top. We got y equals -3/4 x plus 5, and then I'm comparing these. They are reciprocals. One is 4 over 3, and one is 3 over 4. However, they're both negative. So this is a no, because they are not opposite signs. Okay, so that is how you do those. You look for both opposite and reciprocal with the slopes of them to see if they are perpendicular or not. Okay, so pause it, rewind it if you were stuck, but that is how you do that. The next part is writing an equation. So we did these yesterday. This is why I had you do the step of writing the slope twice, because today the slope will change. It's not the same as the given, okay? So from yesterday, I said that we always pull the slope from our given line, okay? So step 1, remember this, find the slope of the original line, and I find that right here. We did that yesterday. We just pull it from my equation. Remember, black this out. I do not want to know about that. That is just there to confuse you, okay? Now here is the difference for yesterday and today. Find the slope of the perpendicular line. That's why I wanted you to practice writing out the original, because today it's going to change. So m is not just going to be the same as before. Remember, it's opposite and reciprocal. So opposite would be a positive, and a reciprocal of -4 over 1 is positive 1 over 4. Okay, that's why I wanted you to write the slope twice yesterday, so that you get in the habit of writing the original and then figuring out if it's the same or if you need to flip it and change the sign. Okay, so that's my new slope, opposite and reciprocal from the original one. Okay, but then everything else is the same from yesterday. We're finding the y-intercept, or b, using our point, which was xy. And remember, we get our point from here. Remember, cross that out. I do not care about that. This is where I get my x and my y. So I come over here, write the base formula. -3 goes in for y. The new slope, 1/4, goes in for m, not the original, and 8 goes in for x plus b. And do some math. -3 equals, that would give me 2 plus b, and then subtract 2 on both sides. So b equals -5. There's my other piece of important information. Okay? And then you just take those two, just like yesterday, plug them in. Y equals 1/4 x, because that's my m, minus 5, which is my b. Okay? So very similar to yesterday's process, except for the slope changes. Okay? So let's try one on the back, flip it over. If you want to start working on this on your own and see if you can get it, go ahead. But I'm going to take you through this. Write the equation of the line perpendicular to y equal, or x minus 5y equals 20 that goes through the point. Right now, I cannot find my slope. It's not in the correct form. So write this word above. You have to convert it, okay? So subtract x, 5, -5y equals -x plus 20. Divide by -5. We've done this so many times, guys, in the past couple of days, so very good practice for you. Y equals negative, and negative turns to positive, and this really has a 1. So be careful with how you write your slope here. It's positive 1/5 x minus 4. Okay? Remember, cross this out. That is just there to confuse you. This right here is the slope I care about. Okay? So the slope of the original line is positive 1/5. But remember, today that changes. Perpendicular means opposite, and that's an and sign, flip or reciprocal. So my new slope, and the one I'm going to use in this equation, is we have to take, if this was positive, it's now negative, and flipping this would be 5 over 1, but just 5, okay? You have to, that's why it's important to write the original and then do the change if there's a change. So now we're at that point where we use our point, which is -2, 9, -9. So I'll write those over here so you have them. Okay, so we're here. Y equals mx plus b. Y is the -9. M is the new m, not the original. So -5 times -2 plus b, and then solve from there. I'm going to subtract 10, so we're going to get a kind of a bigger negative here. So b equals -19, and I'm done. Sorry, that's small. Okay, those two are my pieces. I'm done with the original slope. I never used that. All I wanted to do was I had to change that slope and then find my new b. Okay, and we're done. And last one, again, if you can get a start on it, feel free, go ahead. But I will take you through it since it's a video lesson. Find the slope of the given line or the original line, same thing. So it's the same thing. We're drawing a finding an equation of a line that's perpendicular that goes through this point. Okay, so that point I'm going to label right now as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5, and positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's my point right there. Okay, so find the slope of the given line. Remember, don't make it harder than it has to be. If you're given a graph, rise over run. I'm going to write that word here, those words. Rise over run equals from left to right, up 2, 3, 4, 5. Rise 5, run 1, 2, 3. So my rise over run is 5 over 3, okay, of the original line. But today we practiced perpendicular means op, so opposite sign and flip. So the actual slope I'm using, opposite of positive is negative, flip of 5 over 3 is -3 over 5. That's the slope I'm using in the next step and in my final equation, okay? And then we just do that same step as before. Y equals mx plus b. My point comes from here, xy, okay? So -5, 6. So 6 is y. My m is that new m, not the old m. -3 over 5 times x, which is -5, plus b, okay? -3/5 times -5, I'll just tell you, is +3. You could do that in your calculator. I'm not going to expect you to do that in your head. Subtract 3, subtract 3. So b equals +3. And there I'm done. So my answer are these two. Again, I'm done with that slope. Y equals -3 over 5, x plus 3. Okay? All right, so your homework, let me scroll and write it so you have no excuse of saying, I don't know where it was. Just giving you a hard time, but is on Go Formative. You'll see it in there. It's the 4.9 perpendicular lines, okay? So make sure you get that done, or else your Flex Day stuff is going to pile up on you. Email me if you have any questions. If you need help on Monday, I'm available to individually Zoom you during the Flex Day, so just let me know and we can get that set up. But have a great weekend, and make sure you watch this video. If you just skip through this in 3 seconds, you better be rewinding and actually watching it. But I will see you on Zoom on Tuesday for Checkpoint A.